help the kids thrive is one of the examples I know, Miss Blue, is that you are actually facilitating weekly parent groups.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about your parent group and what the outcome of the group is. I know as a behavior scientist, you have we've conducted research that aligns with understanding the African American family and how that relates to their ability to function and thrive within the community. So let's talk a little more about how community-based interventions can really be a resource to help kids and family thrive.
I think they're great, and what I do in the group is basically I have my parents. We talk about stress. We talk about things that's bothering them as a parent, so they can be able to focus and deal with their kids. And my overall goal with my parents, what I teach them, I'm teaching them teaching them how to talk about with their kids, how to talk about their feelings, express their feelings when they're going through something, and that try to find positive behavior interventions for the families, and also just to keep them active and to regulate exercises, boost up their self-esteem. We focus on that, and just keep the brain and the mind going.
Yes, keeping the brain and the mind. So as a man thinketh, so is he. The mind is a powerful thing, and I kind of explained to the kiddos at the clinic that your brain is kind of like your computer system. So your brain controls your actions, feelings, and behaviors. So parents, caregivers, teachers, and even our spiritual community, we want you to understand that the brain controls your actions, your feelings, and behaviors. So it is very important that we educate our kids about positive emotions, about negative emotions. These are things that they're going to experience throughout their lifespan. So for example, fear. For example, being happy, being sad. It is okay for kids to have those emotions. But what we want to do as a community is we want to train our kids on how to regulate those emotions. Okay, how to do deep breathing exercises. Even as adults, sometimes we may have that coworker or that family member that just push our buttons. And as a result of that, we need to be able to regulate our emotions so that we can take control of the situation. So one of the things that we often use as a complementary treatment in mental health is we actually use essential oils. And so we know that the senses, when we look at things from a biopsychosocial standpoint, we know that our feelings and the smell and the aromatherapy has a great impact on functioning and has the scientific ability to help us be able to manage ourselves. For example, oftentimes growing up in church, we have many of our spiritual and religious community leaders, particularly, preachers and prophets and things of that nature. They often use what we refer to in our community as anointing oil. Okay, so oftentimes we go up for altar prayer and we are given the anointing, and they use that oil as a vehicle to be able to speak blessings over our families and our communities. So in the therapy room, one of the things that we do to often manage our emotional health and our mood is we actually use essential oils. For example, lavender. The smell of lavender is a calming smell. So a lot of times for an anxious child, if we're in our clinic and we're providing some training, or even if we're working with our kiddos inside the home, we may introduce them to lavender because it is an opportunity for them to have that essential oils that's coming straight from the earth, It's coming from plants, and it has the scientific ability to help to balance mood and behavior. And so one of the things that we're working on through the National Minority Family Development Institute is we're collaborating with a couple of schools throughout the city to get some of those essential oil kits as an intervention that the school counselors can use for when kiddos are having meltdowns and they need a very quick intervention. They'll be able to go into the counselor's room, have access to the oil, and really be able to identify their feelings that are connected with the situation that they just encountered. We are so excited about getting the word out. We're excited about flipping the couch. We understand that mental health treatment is beyond sitting behind the desk. It's beyond sitting on the couch. We are going to help you flip this couch. We are going to get equipped, and we are going to be on top of our mental health. We're going to also launch a 1-800 number that's going to allow you guys to call in if you have questions, if you need guidance, or if you just need an advocate to help you navigate through these systems that's causing stressors within the community. So, Ms. Blue, can you give me a little information on how families can have access to the groups that we are facilitating, mental health in the African American community, where we flip the couch and help you to get the tools necessary so that you can thrive? There's also advocacy available for kids that are in need of IEP or 504 assistance, and also an opportunity for parents to engage in our stress management classes. So can you kind of give me a little information, maybe a contact number where you can be reached in order to become a part of this call for action?
Sure. You can reach me at 502-561-3448. Once again, the telephone number is 502-561-3448, and we'll direct you where you need to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to leave our listening audience just in reference to mental health, so that they can kind of go through the week and they can kind of get positive and motivated and be proactive about taking care of themselves?
Just basically, just do that I'm a real big fan of self-care. So what I can tell you is just to make sure you take care of yourself, and also just practice self-care. Just sitting in the car for 5 minutes before you go in to your work, or going to your dealing with your kids. Just take 5 minutes to yourself. Sit in the car and get your mind right. That is a part of self-care.
Yes. And the other thing that I'd like to add in reference to the relationship enhancement, I'm going to have you to walk away with this one intervention. And I want to challenge anyone that is a parent, a caregiver, or that you have any contact or communication with our little kiddos, or if you're in charge of enhancing the life of a child or adolescent, I want to give you this to walk away with. This is our take-home intervention. We want you to spend at least 5 minutes in one day with your kiddo or your child or your adolescent. Just 5 minutes, that one-on-one time. And during that time, we want you to pretty much get involved and just exchange energy with them, give them those labeled praises that we discussed today, and also use your reflections. And on next week, there is more to come. Thank you so much for listening in. Happy feelings in the air. I am your host, Twyna Bell, and we also have Miss Yasmin Blue, and we are here to flip the couch and to help you become a manager of your mental health. Thank you.